Hey everybody, it's Corey from Webspun Ideas. We've got a link here that shows you, if you click on it, it's going to show you Jamey Johnson's new video, which talks about seeing black and white pictures, and in seeing those pictures, you wonder what the folks were thinking, what it was like to be there and to be in that moment, in color. And, I know I saw some old pictures of my grandparents with my aunts and uncles and everybody, and they were a long time ago. They were different than what we see nowadays. Everybody takes pictures, everybody has cameras, and it's just a different world. With what they had, it was the traveling photographers who would go from farm to farm, home to home, place to place. They would show up at your house or your farm. A lot of these areas and all were still relatively poor, and they didn't have cameras. They didn't have this kind of stuff, and this was their way to save and preserve that moment. So the photographers would show up. They would, introduce themselves. They would go grab the kids, grab the spouse, grab everybody, and they would in turn run around like crazy, get dressed up in their best Sunday clothes, and they would sit there for the most part never smiling. If you look at not only my family's but other people's pictures from that era when they did this type of stuff, people didn't smile in their photographs, and I don't know why. Maybe it was the moment. Maybe it was such a serious time, with the war, the Great Depression, all that stuff right behind them. Whatever it was, I don't know, but I know it's interesting to look at these pictures and to see not only the way things look, but also to imagine somebody just showing up at your house, and it's a photographer, and instead of saying, hey, no thanks, you get everything together, you get the family together, you dress up, and as quickly as possible, you look your best. And yes, if you notice some of these pictures, some of the guys who are farmers and everything, they still are a little dirty from being in the field because they didn't have showers necessarily. So they just put their Sunday best on and did the picture right out of the field. I'm glad we live in the era where we all can have cameras and we can all do the things we want, and we can all share these special moments together. Sometimes I wish I could go back in these pictures, these black and white pictures, and I wish I could see them in color, and I wish I could talk to people who are in these pictures and find out what they were thinking at the time. Another example, I talked to Jack Green, the great country music legend who was on the Grand Ole Opry. We talked about this song by Jamey Johnson, and we talked about the experiences of the legends of country music and the ones who've been around for many, many years, and the things that they experience, but also, my goodness, the treasure trove of experience that they have and things like that. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and I gotta tell you, I love looking at these old pictures. So how about you? Do you have these old family pictures like that? Grandparents, great-grandparents even, or parents, whoever. Do you have those kind of pictures where they're sitting in front of the farmhouse or something, and they're doing this stuff where they're just sitting there and maybe not even looking happy? Some of these pictures they don't look happy at all, and yet they're trying to preserve that moment and their time in history. And I think that's incredible. I think it shows you a part of our history, of our nation, and of us as a people.